we've done our recruitment. But unfortunately, we aren't able to do that this time. We were just talking about what things may be looking like in the spring, and we're hoping that some things will get somewhat back to normal for the UCCS campus at least, and um, we'll be able to host some sessions in the spring in person on campus so that everybody can kind of get out to our campus. But my name is Anthony Trejo, and I guess I should probably introduce myself, right? That would be an important thing to do, right? My name is Anthony Trujillo. I'm the interim executive director for the Pre-Collegiate Support and Success Center, and I'm actually joined tonight with two of my colleagues that will be helping out. And if any of you were involved with the middle school program, then you'll probably recognize Miss Vicky. But I'll go ahead and turn it over to Miss George first, and then we'll go to Miss Vicky.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us. My name is Jessica George, and I am the coordinator for the transition coaching workshop programming that Pre-Collegiate hosts, and I'm also a coordinator for the dual enrollment piece of our program. And I will hand it off to Vicky.
Hi, thank you for joining us. My name is Vicki Taylor, and I am the program manager for the middle school program. So I work with students across the street, and I also do K-12 STEM outreach on campus. And I don't recognize any of the names, but I'm hoping that we'll have some more of our former middle school students join us.
Yeah, great. And then we also, and I'm going to put him on the spot here. We have Coach with us tonight. So, Coach Koenig, can you introduce yourself?
Sure. So this is my first year at Ellicott High School. My name is Coach Koenig. You would find me in the gymnasium upstairs in the weight room. My planning period is fifth period if anyone needs to come and visit me or come and see me during seminar. But this is obviously, as my first year at Ellicott High School, also my first year working with the UCCS pre-collegiate program. So make sure that if you have questions, you can obviously email me at the school or, as I mentioned, stop by and see me. But it would be good for me if I could put some names and faces together. So just stop by and say hi sometime.
Great. Thanks for joining us tonight. So we'll probably get through this relatively quickly, but if there are any questions anytime throughout the PowerPoint slide, please let us know. We will talk a little bit about how to apply, what the program is all about, and get into those details. Um, yeah, here we go. So, what is the pre-collegiate? So we've been around since 1987, actually. Um, and we are involved with all four campuses of the CU system. So many people are unfamiliar that the University of Colorado actually has four campuses. Many are familiar with the flagship campus, which is at CU Boulder, but we do have CU Denver and Shoots, which is also located in Denver, and UCCS, of course. So that's a little bit about us. Right now, we service approximately 350 students and 30 schools throughout the Pikes Peak region and also in Pueblo. So we are looking to kind of expand that now, and we've been involved with Ellicott now. This is our I want to say this is our sixth year already, which is pretty amazing. So um, to be able to have that relationship with Ellicott and with their students. So next slide. So a little bit of what the pre-collegiate is all about. So basically, we are a program that assists and helps students in transitioning into college. And I guess just as a fair warning, we are not a program with the primary mission to recruit students to go to UCCS. That is not our job. That's recruitment on UCCS's job. We are here to actually support and prepare students not only for college but also just what lies beyond. So even if students, if you're thinking about other options after college, so if that's military or if that's a technical trade or anything like that, our program is really designed to help students kind of reach that next level. Okay. And so some of the things that we're going to be talking about tonight is how you're going to be able to earn college credit, what some of the programming looks like for college prep and professional development. And then what are the different types of colleges that we have partnerships with that you can take advantage of through the program, and then our career pathways and looking at what those look like in our career interests. So, and Jess, can you do me a favor? Can you move? You have a floating bar right there on the slide. Can you move
Oh,
that
I
up?
didn't realize that that is also shared. Apologies. Is that
No
fixed?
worries. Yeah, that works. That works there.
All right, and I'll take over here. So one of the benefits of our program is that we are kind of arranged in a manner of career pathways. So if you are accepted into the program, and for those of you who are joining us as former middle school students, you'll be able to complete a recommitment form. So you're kind of, you are sort of automatically welcomed into the program as long as you fill out the recommitment form, and we'll talk a little bit about that in a couple minutes here. But once you've joined the high school portion of our program, you would select into one of 5 career pathways. These are business, education and human services, engineering and technology, health and humanities and arts. So these pathways are deliberately broad, and they're designed to give you a chance to explore various careers within this larger career pathway umbrella. So if you selected into the business portion of the program, you will have opportunities to explore different kinds of career opportunities within that pathway of business. In the health pathway, you would have the opportunity to explore not only nursing and being a doctor, but also potentially being a vet if you're actually interested in helping out with the health of animals, for instance. So another thing to note is you don't have to know which pathway you want to choose immediately upon entering the program. We actually have an opportunity in the spring for you to explore different pathway options before making your choice. Uh, our program, our high school program, is arranged around this idea of pathway exploration and career exploration. So Anthony had mentioned a little bit about our college experience visits. And we'll say more in depth about that in a few slides here. But your pathway will determine the kind of experience that you have at these college campuses that we'll be visiting. Your field trips during the Summer Academic Institute are also determined by your pathway. So for instance, if you are in the Education and Human Services pathway, you might end up at a field trip at the Family Development Center on campus. Vicki has guided our engineering and technology pathway during the summer, and I'll let her quickly speak a little bit about the field trip opportunities there.
Yes, so I want to point out that for rising sophomores, so that would be at the end of your 9th grade year and during that summer, if you choose the engineering pathway, I have a grant that helps pay for some extra opportunities, and it is a month-long program, and we do several projects on campus, and then we also visit the Air Force Academy, Fort Carson. We do some flight simulations. We build drones. We work in the machine shop, do robotics and different programming. So there's a lot of different cybersecurity. We do a field trip and go and do some cybersecurity experiences. So there's a lot of different exploration of different areas of engineering that the students can participate in.
Awesome. Thanks, Ms. Vicky. And then finally, the college courses. So those dual enrollment courses that you would take in the summer, our Summer Academic Institute, and we'll say a little bit more about that soon here. Those are also determined by your pathway. So for instance, those engineering and technology students might be taking an innovation class their junior year. So this is all to just give you kind of an idea about how the program is organized by this idea of career pathway and career exploration. All right, and we're going to try a little experiment here. We wanted to share some student perspectives since normally we do this in person, and we have transition coaches with us who can speak a little bit about that student experience, but we've asked our current students to share a little bit about what they've enjoyed about Pre-Collegiate. Atharva is one of our senior students this year, so I'm going to try to play this video. Hopefully you'll be able to hear it. And he is going to share his thoughts on what he has enjoyed about Pre-Collegiate.
First and foremost, I think that one of the most rewarding and fun parts of the Pre-Collegiate program is getting to meet a lot of different people, a lot of new students, and getting to take a lot of new classes that you may not think you would ever take. So first off, getting to meet people from across the community, whether that be kids from Pueblo or kids from other high schools in just your own city, is a very engaging experience because each person brings something entirely different. And people from different cities, people from different schools, even within your own city, have different perspectives. And you're kind of getting to ride this whole pre-collegiate experience together with all these different people. And it's a very engaging and diverse experience that I truly appreciated. First and foremost,
Oops. And so what Atharva is speaking about there is that you'll be with students from all over the Pikes Peak region during that Summer Academic Institute.
additionally, one of the other things that I think was a bit challenging was the idea of having to balance pre-collegiate with high school. And I think it brings in that aspect of becoming like an adult, taking on responsibilities of an adult without all the additional added stress. I mean, you had to balance your workload with school. You had to balance scheduling outside of school. You had to balance talking to your professors, getting in contact, and you really learn to take responsibility for yourself and
Oops.
for your own actions. And I really appreciated that from the pre-collegiate program. It was definitely very difficult, but at the end of the day, I think it's a very, very rewarding experience.
Great. And we have one more student perspective speaking to the pathway experience. So Nathaniel is part of the engineering pathway, and we also wanted to share his perspective.
I guess my favorite part of the program was the engineering pathway because, in my opinion, that's the best pathway you can join. For instance, you rising sophomores, you'll get to build a drone at the end of the year. At the end of the month of June, you guys get to build and fly your own drone. Well, I mean, we'll try to fly anyway. It might work, but who knows? Engineering pathway really helped me grow because, well, first of all, it taught me how to design, especially last year. Because it taught me how to take small steps in order to make a big product. And I used to, because normally I just jump to like the very last step and I skip everything in between. But it taught me that every little step matters.
Awesome. So I'm hopeful that those student perspectives give you an additional kind of viewpoint on those college pathway experiences. And I'll hand it over to Anthony to talk a little bit about the college experience conferences.
I was on mute, sorry. So the college experience pathways are actually brought to us by the Alpomar Foundation with the support of the Alpomar Foundation. So right now we have partnerships with Air Force Academy, Colorado College, and Pikes Peak Community College. And so what these experiences do is actually show students kind of the difference between the different campuses and the different institutions. So we have a military installation, we have a private university, and then we have a two-year college, and then also a four-year university with UCCS. And so we we were able to go onto their campus, and given a normal year, some things have changed this year with remote programming, but we hope to be back to normal soon. But students are able to go on to their campuses, see what their campus is all about, see what things they may be interested in doing at college, and then also being able to experience kind of some different programming to help them towards what college looks like. So, for an example, Colorado College does an excellent workshop with their admissions department, and it kind of puts the student in the seat of a admissions coordinator who's reviewing applications. So students actually get an opportunity to either accept, deny, or accept with conditions of different students in their profiles, which is pretty neat to do. So this is one of the programming that does happen throughout the school year, throughout the academic year. Generally, these are on Saturdays, and students. It's just another form of programming that students can get involved with. Another thing that these college fairs or these college experiences have is resource fairs. So looking at ways to get involved with the community, different organizations throughout the Pikes Peak region. If students are wanting to look for volunteer experiences, those types of things, it's a way to connect with those companies and with those community resources that students can get involved with. And for the next slide, we talked a little bit about this already, but the Summer Academic Institute, also known as the SAI, is another experience that we have. This is generally the month of June every summer. And this is where this year, if you join the program, this is where you'll have your first experience with a college credited class. And so students are able to take a 1 credit hour class their rising sophomore year. So we consider students going into their sophomore year rising sophomores, and then students going into their junior year rising juniors, and students going into their senior year rising seniors. And so with the rising sophomores this year, and Vicky had mentioned this a little bit, but the rising sophomores have a 2-week program unless you opt into that engineering pathway. Then that is a 4-week program. Rising juniors have 3 weeks, and rising seniors have 4 weeks. So the program is scaffolded. So as you've been involved with the program a little bit longer, your stay during the summer gets extended. So generally these are full days, so they're Monday through Friday from 8 to 3:30. Breakfast and lunch are included. And a lot of people, one of the questions that come up is, what's the cost? All right. So the great thing about this program and our partnership with Ellicott is Ellicott actually picks up the cost of your course for you. So that is a pretty neat thing. So you're actually getting college credits for free. You do not have to pay for anything like that. And so the pictures that you see on the bottom here are some of the pathway experiences that we were talking about earlier. Students are in the machine shop. They're able to visit local organizations. So Care and Share is the second picture it looks like. And then for our health students, they actually were able to go into the simulation lab. And so they actually were working on simulated patients. So it's interesting every year because we do have some students that think that they want to go into the health field as a doctor or a nurse, anything like that, and they go into the simulation lab and they get exposed to simulated blood. It is fake. However, they find themselves getting a little queasy, and they figure out very quickly that that might not be something that they are interested in doing. So, and that's really what our pathways are designed to do, is really make sure that students are being exposed to some of these and figuring out some of their options on what potentially they can do after high school, right? So I'll hand it over to Miss George.
Great. So during Summer Academic Institute, Anthony was mentioning that students will take classes during that Summer Academic Institute. In addition to different exploratory workshops, professional development workshops, and those career pathway field trips. Dual enrollment during the summer is just one place where you would take college classes if as a Ellicott student in the program. During the school year, you would also be taking dual enrollment courses. And what this means is that after those 3 years in the program, so your sophomore, junior, and senior year, you would be graduating the program with 19 to 22 credits. This is those summer credits plus those dual enrollment credits that you would take during the fall and spring. For those of you who may have some questions about this. This is not an associate's degree. I've received a couple of emails about this inquiring like does that 19 to 22 credits comprise an actual degree? And the answer would be no, but these credits can be put toward whatever program or major that you end up choosing and are transferable to UCCS. They are UCCS credits, but also across the CU system, as well as other public institutions within the state of Colorado. And they may also count toward elective credits or transfer credits if you end up going to college or university outside the state of Colorado. And just a reminder that the courses during the Summer Academic Institute are aligned with your career pathway. So for instance, a junior in the health pathway might be taking a biology course. The engineers might be taking an innovation course, as I mentioned earlier. Education and human services have taken communication, public speaking classes, those sorts of things. During the academic year, so this would be the fall and spring, you would be taking more foundational college credits that would count toward your gen ed if you decided to go to university at UCCS or solid elective credit. And your dual enrollment courses during the fall and spring, these would only happen during your junior and senior year. As a sophomore, we have you taking a kind of beginning college course in the summer. And then we give you some time to adjust to high school and the pre-collegiate program. Once you join us back as a rising junior before the fall semester of your junior year, then you'll take that junior dual enrollment course during the summer, and then you'll head into dual enrollment in the fall and spring of your junior and senior years. So these are great opportunities to get some college credit before you actually go to college, save some money that way. And we also like to provide support for students to kind of see what a college class looks like and feels like before actually entering college as a freshman. Anthony, is there anything I'm missing there with the dual enrollment piece? And you're on mute again.
I'm
Sorry.
muted again. I know. No, I think you covered it all. Are there any questions right now? So I did forget to mention that if you do not want to unmute yourself, there is a question, a Q&A on the bottom of your Zoom session that you can pull up and you can answer or ask a question that way as well. So um, if there are any questions, we'll take a brief moment to pause and answer those right now. Okay. I guess we'll continue.
Anthony, do you want me to play the student perspective?
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
My favorite part about this program was meeting the people from different districts and different schools. I also really got to learn more about myself. I got to explore other fields I wasn't considering before. Some parts that have really helped me grow is the time management skills.
Great. So Jennifer was speaking a little bit about some of those dual enrollment courses, the opportunity to meet students across the Pikes Peak region, but also these organizational skills and other kind of adulting skills that are really important to being successful in high school, college, and beyond. And I mentioned earlier that the college courses during the summer are very condensed. Normally, a college class takes about 16 weeks, and that's how long it takes during the fall and spring semesters of your junior and senior year. But during that summer academic institute, the course is condensed into between 2 and 4 weeks, depending on your pathway and your year. So this means that it's a lot of work. You're in class for a couple hours a day in addition to those field trips and other workshops. But we do provide extensive student support to make sure that the students in the program are successful in those college courses. So this is actually one of the things that makes pre-collegiate distinct and unique from other dual enrollment programs and options, for instance, You Succeed. So we have a staff of undergraduate students who serve as transition coaches. And these undergraduate students are peer mentors to our pre-collegiate students. During the summer, you'll have at least an hour usually with these transition coaches a couple times a week to discuss things like how to manage time, how to best prioritize homework, um, those organizational skills, those sorts of things. And during the summer, you also have the opportunity to work with academic coaches who have an academic background in the course content for optional tutoring sessions, study sessions, those sorts of things. So we have a strong support system for that Summer Academic Institute with our UCCS academic and transition coaches. During the school year, we have another component. So if you were to join and do Summer Academic Institute the summer before your sophomore year, you would not have dual enrollment that year, but you would be participating in transition coaching workshops. And what these are evening workshops where you have the opportunity to work with our undergraduate students on skills like note taking, time management, study habits. For our junior and senior students, these workshops transition into college search, writing strong scholarship essays, how to get involved in high school and in college. So these workshops are really arranged to support you in the grade that you're in, as well as prepare you for those skills that you'll need in college or whatever you decide to do after high school. So just to give you an example of what we are doing this fall, all of our programming this fall is virtual, but I wanted to share a couple of examples of the opportunities that our high school students have had so far this fall. So we are conducting virtual workshops in Zoom meeting, which is a bit more interactive. We can see students' faces. We use the chat. Students can screen share, all of those sorts of cool things. Our sophomores did a workshop on getting organized and goal setting. So kind of thinking about what they wanted to accomplish the fall semester of their sophomore year. Um, our seniors participated in a really popular workshop on college search and finding the right fit. So in these workshops, our transition coaches share tools and resources for learning more about these various topics. One of the workshops that I'm really excited about this month is our junior workshop on developing curiosity and creativity through independent learning. So how do you sustain a hobby and continue to get better at it outside of school when you don't have a teacher or school kind of structuring your learning? So building those skills of self-discovery and self-advocacy through these workshops. So this is just to give you kind of a small sampling of what that transition coaching programming would look like in your sophomore year, as well as in your junior and senior years. So say a little bit more about what all that you would have to do if you were in this program. We do have a participation model, and we do not expect you to be at all of these events. We know that families and students are super busy right now. There's a lot of challenges and obstacles to being everywhere at once, particularly with the COVID happening. So for this year, we are requiring our students to attend 2 transition coaching workshops and 2 college experience conferences throughout the entire year. So this is to maintain good standing in the program. If you wanted to be like a superstar and attend a lot of things, you would not only be gaining that new knowledge, of course, but you would also have the opportunity to attain a bronze scholar status or a silver or gold scholar status. And what this means is you'll have the opportunity to earn prizes and highlight those achievements on your resume once you decide to apply to college. So this is to allow students flexibility in what they choose to participate in the transition coaching workshops and college experience, but it also maintains a set of expectations so that students are still receiving some of the information and skills that we're really trying to get out to them. If you are accepted into the program, your participation model might look a little bit different next year when we're in person, but this should give you a basic idea of what sorts of or how many events that you would need to be at per year. So in
Okay.
summary, oh, go ahead, Anthony. You can take this
No,
one.
no worries. Yeah. So kind of summarizing everything that we've been talking about. Um, the program itself will allow you to earn about 19 to 22 credits um, in conjunction with in partnership with Ellicott High School. We do have scholarship opportunities for pre-collegiate students, which is something that's really neat, specific to just our pre-collegiate students. So right now, I'm actually working on trying to give a book scholarship to all participating pre-collegiate students, but we also have some competitive scholarships that students can apply for. And that includes scholarships here at UCCS as well as within the CU system, and even with some of our partnerships at other institutions. So for an example, we do have a $12,000 scholarship to Colorado State University, Fort Collins, that students can receive by participating and completing our program if they would like to look at going to CSU, which is really neat. Another added benefit is and many of you may not be aware of this yet, but colleges do charge for you to apply to their schools. And so an added benefit for pre-collegiate students is that you automatically get a fee waiver for all CU schools. So that's UCCS, that's CU Boulder, and that's CU Denver. So when you're looking at colleges and applying to colleges, you can get that fee waiver just because you are a pre-collegiate student. Now, things have changed a little bit over the last couple of years. There has been a free a free college application day here in the state of Colorado, which many institutions participate in. And so we do encourage students to really look at the colleges that they want to apply, and we send out notices for those. But the CU applications are there throughout the whole time. You don't have to wait for a specific day to apply for those. And then, as we've been talking about the different supports and programming that we have for with our program, the transition coaches within the dual enrollment courses, the college experiences, we also have programming for parents and looking at how to support your students, especially when they're making the transition from high school to college or from high school into whatever they want to do next, right? And so what does that look like? And so really helping to try to guide parents and in those processes, as well as financial aid, which can be rather rather tough sometimes, rather challenging with different pieces, and talking to parents and students about those. So Next slide. Okay, so who can apply? Okay, so right now we are recruiting ninth grade students. There is a possibility that we will also be looking, if you are a 10th grade student, we are looking at what spots we may have available in the 10th grade class. So we are looking for a minimum GPA of 2.5 currently. So if you fall below that, don't panic. We would encourage you to apply anyways, just to see, just to make sure that you're being considered. Do plan for a 3-year commitment. So the neat thing about this program is once you apply, you do not have to reapply every single year. So you're in it as long as you would like to be until you graduate, and then hopefully even beyond that. So if you come join us at UCCS, you can receive some additional supports there as well. Some of the things that we're looking at is our students are given priority if they're first generation, which means neither parent has completed a bachelor's degree within the United States or a 4-year degree, and or if you're military dependent, so your parent is active or reserve duty within the past 10 years. So if you fall into those categories, definitely apply. If you don't, that's okay. I would encourage everybody to apply anyways, because we do look at students on a case by case as well. So I think we can skip this one.
Skip. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So if you were to be looking forward, if you were to be accepted, you would want to plan ahead for these dates in the spring of 2021. So once you are accepted, you would participate in a new student orientation in January, and this may be virtual depending on what public health guidance is at the time of at the end of December. You would participate in that pathway selection day that we talked about. This may or may not be in person, but our tentative date for this is February 6th, which is the first Saturday in February. And then we would really spend spring getting ready for the Summer Academic Institute. And that would be the first time where you're really involved with pre-collegiate programming. So we have an orientation in April, a registration in May, and then Summer Academic Institute, of course, is in June for 2 weeks if you're not in the engineering pathway, and for 4 weeks if you are in the engineering pathway.
And of course, we'll be getting out more information as things become available. So those are some tentative timeframes. We're also looking at making sure that it aligns with your school schedule and what that may look like during the summer. So so yeah, some more information to come with that as we're going to. So if you are interested, okay, so this is the website on where to apply. So the application is virtual and it's available online. So the QR code that's available, you can use your phone to visit the website if you'd like to. It'll take you directly to the website, and I'll come back to the slide, but Jess, can you go to the next one?
Yep.
So when you go to the website, you'll see something very similar to this. Now, if you were a participant in the 8th grade or middle school program, then you do not have to do the full high school program application. Okay, all we ask that you do is the recommitment form, which requires you to turn in a grade check or transcript. Now, since we've barely gone getting through Q1 within school, it would probably more than likely be a grade report that you would want to submit with that. Okay, now if you are new to the program, if this is the first time that you've been hearing about us, or if you heard about us in middle school and are now just wanting to apply, then you're going to want to click on that high school program application and complete the full application. So Jess, can you go back to that real quick so I could tell them a little bit more about the application?
Yeah, I may need to minimize here. Give me just a second.
Use your arrows back in front. There we go. Thank you. So if you are applying for with the entire application, there are some things that you have to keep in mind. Okay, so there are some requirements that you'll have to do. One of them is, of course, you're going to have to turn in your most recent grade report or transcript. So just like before, if you have a grade report that will suffice for the first quarter, that is fine. That is perfectly acceptable. You will have to write an essay. Okay, and it's not that long. 1 to 2 pages is all we're asking for. Double spaced is great if you want double spaced. That's easier on the eyes, right? So a personal essay, and the prompt is in the application for you. And then you do have to be recommended by a teacher or a counselor for this program. Okay, and so how you would do that is the link is listed here. And it is listed on the application. You will just have to send your teacher an email and with this link, and just ask them to fill out the recommendation form, and then they will submit it directly to us. So you don't have to worry about getting that back. So the deadline and what we're asking is that you complete the application by October 30th, and this goes for the recommitment form as well. So if you can have that completed by October 30th, 2020, that would be wonderful. We will be taking a look at the applications come November and making decisions in mid to late November on students, and then sending out notices by the end of November, beginning of December. So that everybody is perfectly aware of the new student orientation in January. Okay. I think I think that covers everything for right now. So if you can, we're going to go ahead and stay on for some questions. If anybody has any questions or would like us to elaborate a little bit more on some of the things that we went over. But if you can, we also want to get a sense of, just who was here tonight. This QR code is to the link that's listed below it. If you can visit that really quickly and fill out this short questionnaire, so that we know who is here and if we need to get a hold of you anymore for more information, or if you want to get a hold of us, this is a great way to do that as well. So if you can, just take a moment to visit that and fill out that questionnaire, and we will stay on the line for any questions that you might all have, and turn it over to you all and see if there's anything that we can help answer. And again, you are more than welcome to speak. All you have to do is just unmute yourself, or if you would like to, drop a question in the Q&A box below. We will go over those questions there too. All right. Well, we're not getting any questions, so we'll leave that up there for just a second longer, and then we will go on to the next slide, which is the contact us. So if you have any questions that come up later on, you could definitely get a hold of us and let us know, either through email, through our website, and we also have a Facebook and Twitter, as well as an Instagram. So any of those avenues, you could get a hold of us and ask us your question. It would be greatly appreciated. So at this time, we want to thank you all for joining us tonight. I know it was a Friday night, and I know sometimes that starting off the weekend is really important. So we want to give you some time to go do that. But thank you all so much for joining us. And like I said, again, if you have any other questions, please let us know, reach out to us, and we'll be happy to answer that. And Coach will be available within the school as well. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to him as well. All right. Coach, did you have anything else that you wanted to add?
Nothing specific, just it's a great program, and I hope that the students and the parents will strongly consider joining it and getting the benefits. So if any of you do have questions, feel free to look me up in the gym or email me. I can definitely put you in touch with the good people there at UCCS, and we'll do all we can to support you through the whole process.
Great, thank you. All right, everybody. Well, thank you so much. Have a wonderful night.